We would like to begin by acknowledging the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. While we are hosting this event on a virtual platform, let's take a moment to acknowledge the stewards and importance of the lands which we each call home. We acknowledge that Toronto, where the Insurance Institute of Canada is located, is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit and is still the home to many Indigenous people across Turtle Island. And we are all grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. We acknowledge the land that many of us are meeting on in this region is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in our relationships and to foster our own understanding of the Indigenous peoples and their cultures. Please take a moment of reflection to acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and to consider how we are and can, each in our own way, move forward in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you for joining us. My name is Beverly Lewis Hunt. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the Senior Program Officer here at the Insurance Institute for Insurance Career Connections. And we pride ourselves in showcasing our insurance industry with the goal of driving great talent to work amongst our teams. We have the support of the General Insurance Human Resources Group, the DEI subcommittee, as well the New Entrants Committee here at the Insurance Institute. And we decided that in the spirit of collaboration, why not bring all of our many employee groups together to share ideas, bring awareness, and also inspire others to either start or enhance their own employee groups at their companies. Let's be clear, these groups represent all things IDEA. That's inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility. And we're not afraid to talk about it and celebrate it here. So these are just a few of our companies. There are so many more amongst the insurance industry, but this event would go on and on forever. The companies that are here and excited to join us are Definity, Cooperators, Westland, Wawanesa, and Link Canada. We're going to have a really interesting format. We'll have a lightning round of introductions, so each of you can get to know the companies, just a little snippet of what they do and what they're about. And the last portion of our session, you'll be able to roam freely amongst the breakout rooms and visit all of those that you've heard from today. So I really encourage you to visit all of the groups as best as you can and use this as a great opportunity to network and learn from each other. So thank you again. I'm going to kick things off and start off with our friends at Cooperators. Shalora and Christy are here. Shalora, we're going to have you start things off for us.
Okay, thanks, Beverly. So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We are very excited to be here with you. I'm Shalora Lopez, and my pronouns are she and her, and I'm a National Claims Manager supporting accident benefits in the Cooperators. I've been with the organization now going on 18 years, and in the industry for 27. I'm also proud to be an IDEA influencer and co-chair of several employee resource groups at the Cooperators, including CHEW and the Black and Black Biracial group, which we'll highlight for you today. But it's truly an honor to be part of this event today. And so I will now pass it on to Christy to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone, and thank you very much for including us today. Cooperators is delighted to be part of this. I want to start out by wishing everybody a happy Asian Heritage Month, and it's also Jewish Heritage Month. So just wanted to give a shout out to both those months and hope that you get involved a little bit, learn more about those communities and groups and how we can all support them. As Shalora said, my name's Christy Chatterton, and I'm an employee here at Cooperators. I work as a technical consultant also in the accident benefit claims field. And I've worked here for several years, and I'm part of the idea influencers along with Shalora. So we really try to help bounce ideas off for the organization about how we can support and uplift IDEA here within the organization. And I also am a co-chair of the IDEA Claims Committee and as well as the Black and Black Biracial group. So very pleased to join everyone. And Shalora, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, so I'll just sort of talk about our journey over the past 5 years at the Cooperators. So we've been building an idea, which for us stands for inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility strategy, which also aligns and includes a reconciliation and finally a well-being strategy, which just launched this year. So, our idea, reconciliation, and well being teams operate as part of our HR operations. And these three teams collaborate together through a shared vision to support a strong workplace culture that enables innovation and prioritizes our people's wellness to thrive and live our purpose at the Cooperators. So, currently, we have 9 employee resource groups, which we're showing here on the screen. And these ERGs formed at the cooperators really contribute to our employee well-being by fostering diversity, talent development, innovation, inclusivity, and community engagement. So some of the communities that we have here, so we have the Black and Black biracial ERG, which Christy will talk a little bit more about. We have our community of working parents and caregivers. We have an Indigenous ERG, which supports our Indigenous employees and promotes cultural awareness. We have our Proud of You ERG, which is an LGBTQ2S plus community. We have an Invisible Differing Abilities ERG, which promotes the culture of inclusion. And we have a Frank Engagee, which promotes the French language and culture. We have 3 women's ERGs. So our first one is Power Eye, and they really promote engagement and representation for women in technology. We have the Enterprise Women's ERG that we just launched this year, which focuses on representation and professional development organization wide. And then we have our CHEW ERG, which stands for Claims Helping Empower Women, which is dedicated to supporting professional growth within our claims organization. So, our employee resource groups are an important part of the culture here at the Cooperators. We believe that belonging is crucial for employee satisfaction and retention, and creating a supportive workplace culture where everyone feels valued. And so, our resource groups really serve as affinity groups that promote inclusivity and provide a platform for diverse voices within the organization. And they also play an integral role in helping employees connect from various backgrounds and share their experiences. And so on as one of the co-founders of the CHEW committee, I just wanted to share a little bit about who we are and our origin story. So who we are, so we are an employee resource group that was created with the purpose of generating a supportive environment to empower and reflect the needs of women in the workforce through education, networking, and allyship. And so for our origin story, we really evolved from a group of us had attended a virtual insurance women's conference. And during that event, we created a Teams community where we shared thoughts and ideas as the conference was going on. And at the end of that, we we really challenged each other and we said, like, look, we can put something on here at the cooperators that is equally as valued. We have a lot of talent and expertise within our own organization. So we should consider doing something like this internally. So this is when we launched the CHEW group and we created an annual CHEW panel. So we've had 3 virtual events to date, and we evolved into hosting a book club. We offer paid development opportunities and scholarships through expression of interest, and we have mentorship opportunities within our ERG. And so that is CHEW, and I will turn it over to Christy to talk about our Black and Black biracial group.
Yeah, so I'm happy to touch a little bit on what we do in this group. So I joined Cooperatives many years ago. I was a 19-year-old university student. I needed a summer job, and this job paid 25 cents more an hour than the job I had scooping ice cream. So that's how I got here. But I got here and I kept coming back because there was something very special to me about this organization. And at the time when I started working here, I would say that I would be the only person of color that was working in our office. And slowly, person by person, we found each other. And we started just a very informal chat group where we said, you know what? What's your background? Where are you from? And we all got together and eventually formed what became the Black and Black Biracial ERG group. And very proud to have this group have grown from just a few people in a very informal conversation to a group with over 100 members now at Cooperators. And we have quarterly meetings to make sure we're really talking about what's going on with the community. Our purpose really is to try to enhance the workplace experience for Black and Black biracial employees. And we've made so many strides in the world and in our organization, and we really want to keep the focus on how do we grow, how do we become more than what we were. And it's easy sometimes for people who don't belong to certain communities to be unaware of maybe how people are affected by things. So if I were to ask you, like, how recently did certain things change in the world? And one of the things we looked at, we talked about um, what if I said what happened more recently? Did Disney World Florida open, or did the last person who was born into slavery in the U.S. die? So for most people, that's kind of puts in perspective that, in fact, when Disney World opened in 1971, there was still a living gentleman named Peter Mills who was a slave and it was still alive. So this stuff is not ancient history for us. These things would have occurred during some people's lifetimes or their parents' lifetimes. And so we really want to keep the focus on how do we grow and how do we change. And Cooperators has been instrumental in helping this Black and Black biracial group really find our voice and find our ability to influence the world around us. So that's the information about us and about the Black and Black biracial group. I'm going to turn it back over to you, and thank you very much for giving us the space to talk about this. We look forward to seeing you in the breakout rooms.
Well done. Thank you so much, Shalora and Christy. Great intro to today's session. I'm going to turn things over to Definity, and Ashley is going to lead a little bit of an introduction into the rest of the group. So over to you, Ashley.
All right, thank you so much. Can everyone see my screen okay? All right, great. Well, firstly, thank you so much, Beverly and team, for having Definity with you today. We're so excited to be here and learn from everybody else and also share a little bit about our story. So I'll start by introducing myself and then pass it over to my colleagues. So my name's Ashley. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm the vice chair of the Women's Empowerment Employee Group at Definity. I've been with the organization for going on 7 years, and at Definity, I do internal communications. I will pass it over to Rachel to give us a little intro.
Sure. Thanks, Ashley. Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel. My pronouns are she and her, and I am the vice chair of the Disability and Accessibility Advocacy Group at Definity. It's our newest EG. We're just coming on to our 2nd year here. And I work in the Ombudsperson's office as an analyst, and I've been with the company for 4 years now. And I'll pass it over to Cam.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cam Marina, but you can call me Cam. Pronouns are they, them, and I am the chair of our LGBTQ plus EG. I've been with Definity for almost 9 years, and outside of EG work, I am a team leader in our customer care department for pet insurance. So yeah, I'll pass it to Bruno.
Hi, everyone. I'm a vice chair of the Anti-Racism and Cultural Equity here at Definite. I'm a member of marketing as operations. I've been with Definite from the past 3 years and with our ACE EG from the past 2 years. I'm glad to be here with you. With that, to you, Laura.
So excited to be here. I am Laura Ogunka, pronouns she, her, co-vice chair alongside with Bruno on the Anti-Racism and Cultural Equity Group. Been here going on to 3 years with PI Insurance as a project manager. And I will pass it over to Ashley to tell us how our EG work is embedded, how IDEA is embedded in our EG work.
Thank you. This one is actually going over to Rachel. Oops. Sorry about that.
Yeah, thanks, Ashley. So at Definity, IDEA stands for Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Accessibility. For us, it's an organizational framework that seeks to promote the fair treatment and full participation of all people by valuing and leveraging the diverse talents and perspectives of all employees. It's both an ongoing commitment to creating a workplace that reflects the community it serves, and it's also an approach to how we do what we do as we strive to integrate IDEA into all aspects of our business. While we still have a ways to go, we are very proud of how we've been able to embed IDEA in our strategy, how we take action, and how we measure it. So for example, IDEA is part of our strategic objectives around becoming a purpose-driven sustainability leader. One of the ways that we aspire to get there is through representation of our senior leadership team, as illustrated by our representation targets that you can see on the screen there. So our objective is to have 30% of women and 15% Black, Indigenous, people of color, LGBTQ+, and or persons with disabilities at the vice president and executive leadership levels, and that's by 2026. One of our company values at Definity is that we're all owners. What this means is that we foster collective ownership of IDEA for all employees. And one of the ways that we do that is through ensuring that IDEA-related goals and actions are components of yearly employee performance development plans, or PDPs, ensuring that everyone takes an active role in learning and embedding IDEA in all aspects of their job performance. Outside of PDPs, we're also looking at ways to more deeply embed IDEA into other aspects of the business. So things such as procurement, accessible and equitable hiring practices, as well as in high-performing leader training and succession planning. When it comes to taking action, we're making strides in bringing an IDEA lens to how we do what we do in our business. And a couple of ways that we've been doing that is with our talent talks and succession planning, advanced analytics. We're looking at bias and fairness and predictive modeling, and a couple other examples there as well. And when it comes to what we measure, we know that what matters is what gets measured. And this is why that we have an inclusion and belonging index as part of our annual engagement survey. So most recently, we've achieved an 88% index. And this data-driven approach with tangible metrics allows us to focus on continued improvement. So we aspire to achieve 100% one day, and mainly through the actions of our employee groups and further embedding IDEA into our business is how we hope to get there. With that, I'll pass it along to Cam to talk a little bit more specifically about our EGs.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So let's break it down a bit and talk about what it is to have an IDEA EG. So all of our employee groups are voluntary. They're employee-led groups, and we try to identify barriers to inclusion and then make recommendations for a more inclusive workplace, which can take so many different forms. So really, like, we can hit on a lot of different elements of the business in the process, and it helps us be involved in the culture that we want to be a part of. So we get to shape that together. All are welcome to join. They can be community members or allies. Really, we just want to have as many voices at the table as possible. Our EGs advocate for awareness and organize commemorative events. So we're coming up to Pride season, really excited about that. And EGs are foundational to IDEA enablement. So just bridging off of what Rachel said, the EGs are a huge part of why we can get to where we are with our inclusion. Definity is an industry EG leader, so we are company funded. We recognize our EG members through Appreciate Plus points and annual bonuses for our EG leads. And then our structure is with our IDEAC group, and then also ELT reciprocal mentorship programs are a part of that, where we can work with the ELT. We teach them, they teach us to spread the message further. When we look at the different groups that we do have, we have our LGBTQ+ EG, Women's Empowerment EG, Anti-Racism and Cultural Equity EG, Disability and Accessibility Advocacy EG, and the Environment and Climate Action EG. So I will pass it over now to Bruno to talk about how we make an impact.
There we go. So how we are making impact here at Definite related to our policies and practice. So we have our personal appearance guidelines, so the previous dress code, gender inclusive washrooms, self-disclosure for EFEP counselors, which is support for employee and families, name and pronunciation tool through a program that we have internally, pronouns and signature generator tool, consultation with EG's confidential self-disclosure, and the ACL awards. And we have thousands of different commemorations. We just brought here a few of them. So we have the International Women's Day, we have the Pride Moment, we have the Women's History Month, we have a celebration through food this year that we are celebrating Arabic and now Jewish and Asian Heritage Month, and we are recognized by Great Place to Work for best workplaces for women, best workplace for inclusion. Then also from Weston, we are recognized by the most admired corporate cultures, and from Forbes for Canada Best Employers for Diversity. And talking about our index, so the inclusion and belong index is getting better and better. So we just observed that from the previous research that we performed on 2021. And we can see that new hires, they have a good perception of the culture and all the work that we are doing here at Definite. They have a 92 of the inclusion and belong index. So we continue strong with those results and we are progressing on this journey. With that, I'm passing to Laura.
Oh, you're muted, Laura.
Thank you. So I'm excited to share the 2025 Employee Group Plan, which is grounded in 3 key pillars aligned with our IDEA goals. That's inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility. First pillar, as you can see, is creating awareness. The first pillar is about helping all of us understand the lived experiences of equity deserving groups and how these experiences show up in the workplace. It's not just about education, it's about connection, empathy. And to support this, we plan to organize commemorative events throughout the years. As you can see, Bruno just talked about some of the events that we do. These things, they also include things like day in the life videos for people with disabilities, the Accessibility Awareness Week, Black History Month, Anti-Racism Awareness Month, webinars just focus on Indigenous perspective. So we're seeing these initiatives also for the International Women's Day, LGBT plus, Q plus, awareness days like National Coming Out Day. These are not just one-offs. These are about building a consistent rhythm of learning and honoring lived experiences. Second pillar is strengthen EG community work. This pillar is about deepening the community within our EG group. We don't just want to make members feel like they belong. We want them to have meaningful opportunities to connect and to grow. So we'll be doing this through a few key strategies where we have open mics to share our stories, perspectives, EG ambassadors who are spreading the awareness, building communities. We have some of them on the call. Shout out to some of you who are here. We have networking events to foster growth, just to foster our collaboration, and we have volunteer days that align with each group's mission. We're encouraging community giving initiatives, whether that's food drives or other local impact efforts. The goal is just to make our community stronger inside and outside of Definity. The third one is adversary initiatives. This third pillar is more on the adversary role of our EG groups. That means that EG groups, they come to the table when programs and policies are developed or revamped. We're partnering with teams across talent acquisition, learning, HR, shared services, and even social media to make sure our EG voices are heard. We're amplifying it through these different many mediums, and some of the outputs that you can see on the slide are Ideal Learning Path 101 modules, input on the hiring and accommodation processes, accessible resources like toolkits, idea job aids for leaders. We're really making sure that these are not just lists of activities. It's a roadmap of how we want to leave our commitment to IDEA by raising awareness, strengthening our communities, influencing policies. We're making inclusion not just a value, but a lived reality. So thanks for listening, and I'll pass it. This is a great segue for the next slide where Ashley will be highlighting how our awareness, how we're making that awareness and how we work together to win together.
Perfect. Thank you all. I also just wanted to highlight a new for 2025 initiative, which is called the Definity Diversity Network. And what the DDN is really a commitment to represent identities almost as like a framework in our planning for whether it's commemorations, we're looking at different policies, etc. By bringing different voices to the table early on in the process of planning, what we're able to do is effectively bring that intersectional lens to the communications, to the experience, so that there is more diversity with that lived experience. So the DDN composes of all of our EG members. So there's over 180 folks there. The mandate, as I mentioned, to bring that intersectional lens as one network to EG planning. And that value is around stronger in numbers and better strategic impact. And the execution piece is really removing those silos in the planning and making sure that we're increasing that cross-collaborative effort. So with that, we didn't necessarily speak very specifically about each of our groups. So want to invite you to join our breakout rooms and bring your burning questions. We look forward to chatting through with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley and team. That was very comprehensive, and look forward to visiting all of you in the breakout rooms. That's great. Thank you for that. We turn our attention to Wawanesa and team, and I will have Danielle kick things off and introduce the teams that are joining us today. Danielle?
There we go. There's the unmute button. Hi, everyone. I'm from Wawanesa, and we've got a slide deck here.
Danielle, just unmute again.
Oh, my goodness.
There we go. You're good now.
Okay. We're trying. All right. So Wawanesa's purpose, we're very community focused. So we were started in a small town called Wawanesa in rural Manitoba. It's just south of Brandon, if anyone's been to Manitoba, so about 2.5 hours outside of Winnipeg. And our kind of slogan is just say the word. We're very much about like, we're here, just say the word. We're local, so we do have many different areas of business. We have products in business, farm, home, life, auto, but we also like to be local to our own communities. We have a bunch of different teams at Wawanesa as well. So while, yes, we do have claims, underwriting, actuaries, we also do have enabling services as available careers for anyone looking to join Wawanesa. Like I said, we're very community focused. So we do have a My Community Day that's available to all of our employees to go out there and to volunteer within the community, whether that's an opportunity offered by Wawanesa, such as you see here, there's a tree planting day that we hosted last year, or for anything personal that you would like to do as well. I previously have done blood donation. Other people go and they'll volunteer in things like animal shelters. So it's really individual. We also take care of our employees. With that, we offer comprehensive benefit packages that do include things like paid time away, not just for vacation, but for personal days. So going for appointments or going to take care of family members. We have a hybrid work environment that's flexible. So we allow our employees to choose which days they want to be in the office, whether that's Monday, Tuesday one week, and then maybe it's Thursday, Friday the next week. And we do have a lot of EGs that we support as well. So just jumping into our DEIB purpose and strategy. So we want to create a culture of DEIB accountability, diversify all of our leadership team, build belonging into the employee experience to make everyone feel welcome, and then develop those meaningful community partnerships. So our EGs are key members of that. So they are volunteer groups where people can connect and find community. We host many different events aimed at building community and with partnership with the EGs. And actually with that, I'm going to pass it to our various EG members to introduce themselves and to talk a little bit about their employee group. So the first one up, I'll pass it to Martina.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Martina, and I'm happy to represent Wawanesa today. I am one of the co-lead for Women Plus of Wawanesa. And as Danielle mentioned, our entire purpose, I will introduce and I will talk a little bit about our group. So on March the 8th this year, we just celebrated our second anniversary. Just 2 years ago, we gathered for our very first bi-monthly meeting as a relatively small group, 55 of us at that time, marking the beginning of our powerful journey together. And based on the feedback that we collected from our members, our goals were to enhance personal and professional growth. For members, we wanted to create really safe space and open environment for sharing an inclusive community. So our mission was to encourage conversations among all genders. That's why our name is Women Plus, so women and allies. Conversations that enhance awareness of challenges that women are facing in the workplace. We wanted to create a safe and open environment to share our experiences and celebrate successes and provide growth opportunity through mentorship, creating networking, and mostly professional development. So here we are just 2 years celebrating our existence, and I'm very happy to share some of the milestones that we achieved meanwhile. So Women Plus has built really strong brand in Wawanesa. We now expanded from original 55 to over 400 members up to this date. We had organized several speed mentoring sessions. That was a huge success for our members. And what we simply did, we provided the opportunities to connect with our senior leadership team, with our executive, with our senior leaders. That's we have a great and huge support. We continued with panel discussions. We were successful to secure panel discussions with the female directors of the board, for example, for Wawanesa. Other milestones would include our book club, providing resources to our members, everything from managing career tips to simply things like work-life balance, working moms, sandwich generations, and all that. We also focus on partnering with our wellness department and organize some events to promote well-being specific to women's health. And also very happy to share that thanks to this group, we were able to secure the access to feminine hygiene products. So all our Wawanesa offices are now equipped with those essential resources. Our vision remains clear, and we want to build stronger, connected, inclusive community of empowered women and allies, where everyone has the freedom to define their own professional journey at Wawanesa, and where every success is celebrated. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll pass it to Emily.
Thank you, Danielle, and hi, everybody. My name is Emily, and today I'm representing the ADAPT EG, and ADAPT stands for Abled and Disabled Allies Partnering Together. I've been working with Wawanesa in the Talent Acquisition Department for almost 7 years now. I joined ADAPT as a committee lead just last year. And our ADAPT EG was created just 3 years ago, so we are newer for sure. I checked yesterday, and we are up to 120 members, so we do feel very, very proud of that. With ADAPT, we are dedicated to fostering an inclusive, accessible workplace for employees with disabilities, both visible and invisible, as well as their allies. That's a very key piece here. We advocate for accessibility, champion inclusion, and promote awareness of the diverse experiences of people with disabilities. We work to ensure that all employees feel valued and supported, and we provide a community. And I think it's really important to say it's about belonging. This is the group that feel good feeling to join and feel like you do belong. We want to make sure that employees feel valued, supported, and can share in a very safe environment as well. Some of our initiatives include accessibility advocacy, education, and awareness. And these would be things like campaigns that highlight disability-related topics and observances throughout the year. And by building an understanding and allyship across Wawanesa, we aim to help every employee thrive and contribute their unique strengths, and just creating that culture of belonging, as I mentioned earlier. And that's who we are.
Thanks, Emily. Over to you, Larry-Ann.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. My name is Larianne, and I am the co-lead of events at the Black ERG at Wawanesa. I've been with Wawanesa for a little under 2 years, and right now I currently work in auto, the auto SIU department. And Black's mission is to generate and highlight awareness and to cultivate allies and act on matters specific to the Black community within Wawanesa. Our primary goal is to assist Wawanesa in empowering, celebrating, and maximizing the potential of our diverse Black talent. And so, with that being said, we're very community focused and we encourage all to join and to participate in the events that we host. We choose to spend a lot of time in hosting events, and the purpose of it is to bring people together across the company, to celebrate and bring exposure to the accomplishments of Black insurance professionals. We do this by hosting mentorship, sessions with executive leadership across Wawanesa, because there's not that many Black leaders in executive leadership, so it's nice to bring people in. We also partner with community allies to not only educate and promote our initiatives, but to give back. Recently, we hosted a Black History Month session with a historian to learn about the experiences of the accomplishments and experiences of Black Canadians. And we've partnered with a GTA-based nonprofit to support local children and giving them access to books. And then we had a fun art project. So most of our time is spent developing and making events accessible to people who want to participate, to bring people together. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Larry-Ann. Now over to you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Danielle, and thank you, Beverly, for organizing this. It's great to be gathered here today. Representation does matter, and it's great to learn from everyone here. I represent the Familia Wawanesa, which is the Hispanic and Latin American for employees within Wawanesa. I have been with Wawanesa since November, so just a new employee here. And I work as a case manager within the life department there. So with the Hispanic and Latin American ERG group, currently we're just in our infancy and we just did our kickoff meeting just a few weeks ago. So with our first year here, what we're looking to do is sit with our employees and colleagues to really understand what is important to them. Just a quick fact that the Hispanic population is about 3% of Canadians, which is over 1 million, and Spanish is spoken by over 500 million people worldwide, and about 0.5 million in Canada. So it's not just important for employees to have that sense of belonging and representation within their employment, but also within our customers and our communities. With our ERG group, our mission is to celebrate Hispanic and Latin culture and values, to connect and empower our members to develop within Wawanisa's core goals and principles. So what we offer are mentorship programs, workshops, and networking opportunities, which are tailored to the unique needs and aspirations to the Latin and Hispanic colleagues, and supporting career growth and personal development. Now, our name is unique, and we chose the name Familia because in the Latin and Hispanic culture, it's about bringing everyone together. It reflects the importance of union and community within our cultural heritage, but also in a greater context. We are open for anybody to join regardless of birthplace or language. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. And now to you, Simran.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Wow, wonderful. I have been listening to all these different EG groups across multiple different companies, and very nice to hear everyone. I am here to represent the Pan-Asian group of Wawanisa. When I joined the Pan-Asian group, then the reason I joined it was that when I actually joined Wawanisa, I had faced some challenges. And with the support from my leaders and Wawanisa within about 17 years ago, I have become me as of today. So I wanted to support the Asian members of our community within Wawanisa, and that's why I became the PAC lead. What is our mission as PAC is to celebrate and to promote the richness of Pan-Asian cultures and fostering a deep sense of belonging and inclusion. So we aim to create opportunities for the cultural awareness, networking, and meaningful collaboration. Our pillars are community building, building connection, and allyship. So in community building, we establish an inclusive space for PAC ERG members to feel them valued, supported, and empowered. For building connections, we plan to create supportive network where members can connect with peers and leaders. And for promoting allyship and awareness and identity, we are amplifying PAC's identity to build an empowered workplace across the enterprise. We were formed, our ERG is fairly new, so we started last year in 2024, January, and we had done a lot that year. We grew from about 35 members to almost 195 members as of today. We do multiple articles on Lunar Year celebration, Diwali, and other occasions on our blue page of Wawanisa, which is an intranet page within the company. We had done a mental health from Canadian Lens meeting within our members, which was taken very well, and it was very safe and inclusive space for everybody to share their experiences. We have tea time chats on regular basis within our group for the members to participate. We celebrated our Asian Heritage Month lately this year, as well as last year. So we had done a leadership panel for our entire organization with the Asian leaders who are our VPs and senior VPs. And we plan to do another event for the Asian Heritage Month next week by celebrating with food, culture, traditional attire and other display items from the different Asian cultures. I'm very thankful and happy to be part of this group where I feel inclusive and I can support other members to be part of this group and they celebrate and feel supportive and grow and learn. So thank you again for giving me the opportunity to speak about PAC. Back to you, Daniel.
Thank you. And I'll just quickly pass it back over to Martina.
Thank you. And I wanted to mention one interesting thing that as part of support and as our purpose as a mutual insurer, as we focus to giving back to our communities, back to our members, our EG groups do participate and have a voice in our donations. So at the end of the year, we do have a $10,000 for every group, and every EG group selected the organization of their choice based on the feedback from members that received that donation. So some of the most recent that came to my mind, I can mention, for example, Indigenous groups supported Indigenous women's healing in Edmonton, Women Plus of Wawanesa. It was an organization called Safe Place. So just to elaborate what they do, so that one was the residential facility with the 35 beds that provide a secure environment for women and children to support their transition and fleeing from domestic violence. So with that, again, more than bad, they provide essential needs and a wide range of client-centered supports that allow the women to permanently break free from domestic violence.
Thank you, Martina. So at Wawanesa, we're committed to everyone growing their career by the 3 pillars here: learn, grow, and thrive. By having our EG groups, we're hoping to create that environment for everyone. So please do stay connected with us. So this QR code goes to our careers site. If you're interested in joining Wawanesa, I invite you to create a profile and stay up to date, and also come and visit us in our breakout room. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wawanesa, Danielle, and team. That was great. I think what I'm hearing today as well, I'm really impressed with some of these groups that have grown in short periods of time. So it really is a testament to, if you offer it, people will come, and it's contagious. So I love hearing about all of these groups. We're going to move over to Westland. Westland, we have some wonderful groups to hear from. I'm going to start off with Marissa. Marissa, over to you.
Hi, I'm Marissa. I go by Riss. My pronouns are they, them. I'm queer and trans, and I am the co-chair of the Pride ERG for Westland. I'll introduce the other 2 people who are in here with me and then talk about some of our recent initiatives in our ERGs. Sabrina, do you want to jump in now?
Thanks, Marissa. I'm Sabrina. I'm the branch manager at one of our retail locations here in Cranbrook, BC. We're located on the ancestral lands of the Tanaha Nation. I am also one of the co-chairs of our newcomers ERG, and I will pass it over to Melina so that she could introduce herself.
Hello everyone. Thank you for having us here. It's been wonderful to hear all of your stories and the amazing work that the IDEA and DEIB movement is making in the insurance industry. So congratulations to everyone on your work. So I am a business advisor located here in Porters la Prairie in the small business unit for Westland. I think we're going to go ahead and introduce Westland as a whole now, and we'll get Sabrina to kick us off with that.
Thanks again, Melina. So before we get into talking about all the amazing work that Westland has been doing in the DEIB space, we are pretty new in the space. We started our DEIB journey in 2022, and it's called Amplifying Belonging. And so I just wanted to give a bit of a background as to who we are as an organization and where we're coming from and how we are looking to grow in the DEIB space. So Westland Insurance was established in 1980 by our founder, Jeff Wobbs, as a single office brokerage in Ladner, BC. Today, we have over 3,000 employees and we are located right across Canada. While a lot has changed for the organization in the last 40 years, what hasn't changed is our commitment to providing exceptional client service and giving back to our local communities. And I'll flip over to Melina to just give some background as to what it is that we have been doing.
Thanks, Serena. At the heart of Westland's growth is our employees. So Westland's continually demonstrating how to be a caring and modern and inclusive employer by recognizing that our employees have a voice. So our ERGs are just one example of how the employees can influence decisions and contribute to our collective story. Westland takes a genuine interest in our lives and our well-being through the deep commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. Westland strives to create a workplace where everyone feels seen, heard, and truly valued.
Our DIB working group is committed to creating strategies and identifying priorities for Westland's DEIB program with a diversity council that helps inform the work. Westland is committed to being a leader across all industries by building a diverse, equitable, and inclusive organization. We're dedicated to identifying challenges and removing barriers so that everyone can grow their true potential. Together, we can create a culture where all people belong. Acknowledgement of the amazing work that Westland has done for DIB has come in the form of numerous awards and recognition from our colleagues in the space, ranging from 5-star Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Employer by Insurance Business Canada in 2022, 23, and 24, excellent awardees for excellence in diversity and inclusion, as well as Canada HR Awards in 2024, and Canada HR Reporters Best Places to Work Award in 2024.
To date, since we launched in 2022 on our DEIB journey, we have 4 ERGs going. Today, we're going to talk about 3 of them. I am a member of I'm one of the co-chairs of our Newcomers to Canada ERG, and this ERG was formed out of my own lived experience and the lived experience of my other co-chair who, though she's a Canadian citizen, she lived in another country for a few years. And so she had an opportunity to navigate the immigration process there. Between conversation with Tess, that's the other ERG co-chair, and myself, we recognized that there was a gap within the organization for newcomers to Canada in helping them not only navigate the immigration space, but also the culture and a new workplace environment. So that was how we launched our Newcomers to Canada ERG April of this year. And the values of our ERG are rooted in belonging, collaboration, and unity. And we hope to organize cultural orientation workshop, providing mentorship opportunities, having knowledge sharing sessions, and to celebrate the diverse backgrounds of everyone that is a part of our ERG. We also look to facilitate access to practical tools such as business acumen training, IRCC updates, and wellness resources to support our employees on their journey. The overall goal of our ERG is to foster a community of inclusion where every newcomer feels seen, heard, supported, and just help to set them up for success, not only within the organization, but in Canada as a whole, as a newcomer to new country, because for those who have experienced the journey, it is not an easy one to uproot yourself from the country that you're from and set up roots in a new country and having to learn about the new culture and to navigate it, especially if there is no support. So that is really the basis on which our newcomers ERG was formed. I will now pass it over to Melina that will talk about our Indigenous Employee Resource Group.
Awesome. Thanks, Sabrina. She's doing amazing work, you guys. And Newcomers ERG is off. She's just, we always say, we joke Sabrina's in the year like 2030. She just always extra that level ahead of us, right? She's a leader we're looking to for sure. So for me, I'm going to speak about the Indigenous Employee Resource Group within Westland, and I'm the chair of that group. So I'm joining from Portage la Prairie. We kind of said that, and here the Indigenous people are primarily First Nations, Métis, Inuit. Historically, the area was home to various Indigenous nations, including the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Cree, and Dakota Sioux peoples. And growing up, I was always told that I was a part of the Sioux, like ancestral history. That's who I belong to. So I kind of resonate and I'm grateful that I'm here and on this land. Today, the largest Indigenous population in Portage la Prairie is Métis, and it's followed by First Nations. And I'm really proud to be here to share a little bit about what we do and why it matters. So our ERG is a space where Indigenous employees and allies come together to learn and support one another, promote cultural awareness. It's for us, it's not about just checking that box. It's about creating a culture of understanding and respect and carrying that in all aspects of our work. Over the past year, our group has hosted many events, a smudge teaching recently on May 5th, Red Dress Day for MMIW. We had a smudge sharing circle, and I had collaborated with Winnipeg's Mamali Chitata Center and the Spirit of Peace program there, who help women who are experiencing violence to break away from that violence. And we had a speaker join and talk about how they had lost their daughter. It was a powerful, these events that we're holding in the group and in all our groups, I'm sure they're just powerful opportunities for people to connect, not only with each other, but in my group with the Indigenous traditions and in a meaningful way. So we also partnered here in Portage la Prairie with the National Indigenous Residential School Museum, and they graciously offered their space so we could host our virtual networking event, which was another huge success. And the knowledge keeper, Ernie Daniels, opened our meeting with a prayer and spoke to why reconciliation is very important in a corporate setting. And beyond events, we're sharing articles within the company that are sparking conversations. They're from Indigenous perspectives, and they're just reflection pieces for people across the country. For me, the work that we're doing, it isn't just about special events or observations. It's about building something that's a part of the day-to-day culture, where Indigenous inclusion becomes the natural part of things, the way we think and the way we plan and work together. When that happens, it's going to benefit and benefits everyone. So we're helping shape an environment where people feel safe to be who they are and to share their history and to be seen and heard. So whether you identify as Indigenous or as an ally, there's space for you in this work. You don't need to know everything. You really just need a willingness to listen, learn, and to grow. Chimigwich, thank you so much for this space. I'll pass it off to Marissa.
Hi, as I said a minute ago, my name is Marissa. I'm starting to go by they, them, And sorry, I'm starting to go by Riss, and my pronouns are they, them. I'm up in Gibsons on the Sunshine Coast on the Squamish and Seychelles Nations. I am one of the co-chairs of the Pride ERG for Westland Insurance, and I've been with Westland for about a year as an insurance advisor here. I was my interview and hiring was with a gay man who was one of the former co-chairs. So as soon as I kind of walked into the door of my interview, I went, okay, I think I'm in a good space here. I feel like there's an expression, it gets better. And it's a slogan, but I think it's also a promise that every queer and trans youth has made to themselves at some point. And I feel that if you've experienced other forms of discrimination or other challenges, either in your life or in your employment, this is something that can resonate with you. And I firmly believe that right here is where it starts to get better, and forming these ERGs and participating in them and helping to lead them is how it gets better. And so that's part of my commitment to DEIB, both within Westland and within myself. Our Pride ERG has been busy. We're only kind of in our second year, but we have done so much in such a short time frame. We made donations to Pride-focused organizations last year. We donated to EGAL and Central Alberta Pride in Alberta. We're going to be producing stickers for Pride this year. We're spinning up towards Pride Month in June. We're looking at how better we can support local community prides and grassroots organizations to diversify our impact rather than spending money on one large like Vancouver Pride, but being able to support multiple smaller Pride events. We hosted a panel back in January for the Pride ERG members, which came out of this idea that we didn't necessarily need a spokesperson when we have employees that are available to speak to our own experiences. And of personal relevance to me, my primary skill set is as a writer, as an editor. I've been contributing articles to our company newsletter, The Pulse. My Pride one is going to be on queer joy, that's coming up. But I have also started an initiative that I'm calling the Dear Debbie column. That's DEBI. See how. And it's basically a Dear Abby format to answer questions and topics about all DEIBA, whatever concepts. I don't want it just to be my voice. I'm trying to encourage perspectives from all of Westland's ERGs as well. I'm also part of the Diverse Abilities ERG. And so far I've put out 3 columns. The 3rd column is coming up in June. We've discussed washroom use for people with accessibility issues when some of our branches have private washrooms, how to approach our managers to come out as queer or trans, and the one that's coming up in June will be tips for managers on how to support neurodiverse employees and how to provide accessibility and accommodation for those. So I'm promoting this because I think it would be amazing if more people started creating similar initiatives to really keep the discussion going. I think that's mostly me. Yeah, and yeah, we're spinning up to Pride and getting some Pride specific stuff going. But thank you for letting me speak.
And with that, I would like to say thank you, and we look forward to you joining us in the breakout rooms to talk about our many ERGs and the initiatives that we are doing within our organization and outside of our organization.
Great. Thank you so much, Westland and team. Riss, I don't know if you see in the chat, but you have a number of followers looking to subscribe to the newsletter, so get it public. Okay. We now have our special guest, Chris from Link Canada. Chris, I'm going to pass things over to you to give us your words of wisdom and knowledge and and promotion, etc., on all things Link Canada.
Thanks, Beverly. I really do appreciate that. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great week. Before I kind of jump into it, I just want to say it's really, really exciting to see all these individual groups that exist inside these wonderful organizations. I really love the insurance industry. I always make a very terrible joke that when I started in insurance, I started out as unpaid child labor. I worked in my aunt's brokerage, licking stamps on registered letters, not even knowing what was being sent out in the mail. And this was years and years and years and years ago. But for myself, I've always found the insurance industry has been a welcoming industry. It's always been something that I found I've always found my confidence in my voice, and that it was always one of those industries where you could really be yourself. Now, I will always preface that with that is my personal journey, and that is not necessarily indicative to everyone. But what I do like to see is insurance industry is one of those things where it is trying to change that perception. Another bad joke that I've always been told I need to stop saying is when people thought of insurance, they thought of stale, male, and pale. Now, and as you can just see by the wonderful people on this call today, that is very much not the case anymore. And I'm only two of those. So before I became the third, I really wanted to see a little bit of significant improvement for myself in the insurance industry. I am one of the founding members of Link Canada. We are the Canadian chapter of the Link Network, and that's the LGBTQ network. What's interesting and more what I really like to highlight about ours specifically is we are the 2S LGBTQ insurance network, making sure we're always being cognizant and being providing that understanding of the Indigenous population that was on this land before us. Also, you might have heard from them today. Cam with Definity is also one of the founding members of Link Canada. We've been around for about 3 years. Cam has been our education chair since day one, and they have done such a wonderful job helping to support Link, helping to grow education, and really trying to bring a full unity to all industry, to all different types of jobs inside the insurance industry, not just brokers, underwriters, but adjusters, lawyers, as far as you can go. If you're working inside the industry, we're looking to connect with you. So I'll share my screen a little bit. Let me just, there we go. We'll share it here. And I won't go through the full thing here. If anyone is interested as well at the end there, I can certainly send out this impact report as well if you want to learn a little bit more about what Link has done over the past couple of years. But what we're really excited about is just to go over a couple of our founding pillars. Firstly, we always like to say we're really powered by the support of our sponsors and by the members of the insurance industry. We've been around for just about 3 years. We're celebrating our third year anniversary and kickoff this on June 5th. If anyone is in Toronto on June 5th, please feel free to reach out. We'll send you the link and you can sign up for our event. It's happening downtown Toronto. We're very excited and we want to make sure everyone feels welcome and it has the accessibility to attend. We also were really excited this year. In our first 2 years, we were a bit landlocked by being caught in Toronto, but in our third year, we have actually been able to travel so far. We've gone all the way to the West Coast, participating in broker conferences in BC, as well as the Canadian Risk Insurance Managers Conference as well. We participated in the Fierté Canada Pride Conference in Alberta. That is an association that is the governing body for individual pride associations across Canada. So I think there's about over 160 individual unique pride associations in different towns, burgs, rural areas all across Canada. And what Fierté Canada Pride does, tries to build a bit of stability, try to help provide resources to those much smaller individual cities that are looking to help grow DEI, helping to grow awareness for LGBTQ community inside their town, inside their local area. Our our first pillar that we're really excited to announce and talk about, which is why I really happy to have Cam, is our advocacy and education. And so this is one of our founding pillars in that we want to make sure that everyone in the insurance industry is well aware of the civil liberties that the LGBTQ community has only just come by in the past couple of decades there. The equal same-sex marriage was only legalized in July 20th of 2005, so that is less than 20 years ago. And it's just really trying to build off of there. And so one of the things with this advocacy and education is we're also here to really make the insurance industry a career destination of choice for university students, for newcomers to Canada, because as you can see by everyone who's spoken here, it is a wonderful industry and you're going to find your community inside whatever company you're looking to work for. Some of the things that we do is we've actually launched a job board for LGBTQ partners that we've had. We did that this year. We've released over 200 hours of education. Now, this is all Cam. All the education Cam has created, over 200 hours have gone out for brokers to get their continuing education across Canada. So that's something we're really, really proud of. And then also this year as well, we worked with a number of universities, so really trying to bring in and kind of dispel that idea where if you go into university, you're kind of sold this idea of you want to work in finance or you want to work in tech, those are great industries. I certainly will that, but we want to be able to bring insurance to the top minds of those students as well. There, so we've worked with a number of universities from Queens as well as Rotman, including Schulich at York University. Our next pillar is networking and visibility. So we're very proud to have created an ambassador program to help promote and make sure that when you're going into different insurance spaces, because that's one of the great things about insurance, and you'll notice is we're a very social community. We like to have a lot of networking events. We like to really, create what is special at insurance, which is those people and those interactions. And so one of the things we're really excited about as well is in last year, at CRIMS, we actually hosted a Two-Spirit Indigenous art exhibit with Lloyd's of London. So in the bottom of the image here, you can see the six leaders of diversity from the Lloyd's market. And some of those, and so those portraits are the only ones that exist anywhere in the world. So we were able to bring them over to Canada, as well as mix them in with Indigenous and Two-Spirit artists of the Bay Area. Something we were very proud of. And then finally, we really try to really focus on outreach and community engagement. So working with Fear to Canada Pride, we've come up with a number of solutions to really help create more meaningful connections between insurance brokers and the pride associations and the boards that they might work with in individual communities. We also created a Two-Spirit and IndigiQueer Pride Fund. With that, what the aim was to work with an organization to really help identify the makeup of these boards, because oftentimes what we see is being able to volunteer on a pride board or being able to volunteer your time at all, there is a certain amount of privilege that comes along with that. And what we see is a lot of these pride boards are made up of heavily Eurocentric. And so the idea was to really figure out a way to create more space for the Indigenous population on these pride boards so that we can say that they are now more representative of the communities that they are interacting in. We've worked with a number of MPs and MPPs across Canada. We participated in IBAC Day on the Hill, which is lobbying for the career of being an insurance broker, really reinforcing Section 416 of the Bank Act as well. And it's been about a fantastic 3 years. I always like to say it's been a real honor to be able to be part of the Link Network. It's been a real honor to be able to work with such amazing people. And I just want to also say thank you to Beverly and Carolyn as well. They have been such huge supporters of Link from day one. And so I'm always happy to be able to participate and help promote what I believe is such a great industry. And what I know is if you choose to enter the insurance industry, you're going to find a career for life.
Well said, Chris. Thank you. I knew you were the best person to end this off. Get us all inspired. Link is doing some fantastic work, and I know you just kind of really glazed over a lot of that really quickly.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We do a lot, and so I will be happy to send the impact report if you want to learn a little bit more there, because I don't want to sit here and take up the last 40 minutes.
Sure, for sure. And I think everyone is excited now to move into to talk to each one of you. And I encourage you, as I mentioned, to take a moment. There is a breakout room button that is hopefully at the bottom of your screen. If you're not able to move, feel free to just ask me and I'll move you into a room. But you're able to move around to all of our reps that have spoken today, mix and mingle with each other, share contact information, and get to know them a little bit further and some of the initiatives they're working on. I want to thank you all for really participating and offering insights into your world, into your companies, and what you are doing. It's really been eye-opening, and I think it's great to share because a lot of people don't know what's happening outside of their four walls and their company. So thank you all.